Welcome to another tier list from Diagonite. Today we are going to rank every single Naruto and Sasuke form, not in terms of strength or power scaling or anything like that, but in terms of character design, how cool I think these forms look, and how well I think the design fits with the narrative they're trying to tell in the story. Okay. We begin with a very young kid Naruto here, and it's a very simple design. It's just Naruto but young, and he's wearing a shirt and shorts, nothing really elaborate, but nothing bad either, so I'll just say not bad. There's nothing that really catches my eye in this design, but I don't think it's bad by any means. Alright. Now we have part 1 Naruto with some Kyuubi Chakra. The whiskers are pronounced, his eyes are red and have the slits from the Nine Tails, and I think this character belongs in great. Part 1 Naruto's design is completely iconic. The orange clothing, the blue details, and that white color, they're very recognizable, and I think it's a great design. I think it's better than Shippuden's design, which is a little more simplified. The designs in part 1 were more complicated and a little bit more good to look at overall, I would say, at least for Konoha 11 characters. And now we get to part 2, Shippuden Naruto with the same properties as this Naruto here, with the eyes of the Kyuubi and also the whiskers more pronounced. I would say this is good. I wouldn't say it's great. I think the character design for Naruto downgraded a little bit in part 2, but nothing too bad. It's just my personal opinion. And now here for Kid Sasuke, we have essentially the same thing as Kid Naruto here. They're not bad designs, but there's nothing great to them. It's just the same character, but younger, wearing a shirt and shorts. So yeah, not bad. Not bad at all, but nothing really to it. Okay, we have a baby Kyuubi here. I think this is a transformation jutsu or something. I'm not really sure. I kind of remember this imagery, but it's not very prominent. I would say it's not bad, because there's nothing much to it, honestly. And we have part 1 Sasuke, just plain part 1 Sasuke with a blue shirt and white shorts. And I think his design is great, just like Naruto's. It's very iconic. It's not as complex of a design as Naruto, but Sasuke's hair is what catches your eye the most. And obviously the Sharingan later on is an extremely cool ability that looks just amazing in the character. We have part 1 Naruto here, and he goes in the same position as part 1 Naruto with some Kyuubi Chakra because I just think they're great. And now we have our first legendary design. The moment this thing happens here in the manga was just legendary, like the tier says. It was an amazing moment, and Naruto looks so intimidating with this Kyuubi aura around him. The face he gives Haku when he quote-unquote kills Sasuke is absolutely terrifying, and his eyes and whiskers are even more pronounced, giving off more details of the Kyuubi, so I think it looks amazing. Okay, now I have a somewhat of a controversial opinion here. This Susanoo, I don't like this Susanoo form. I think this is one of the ugliest Susanoo forms in the entire series. This particular stage of Sasuke's Susanoo, the one he's not clad in armor, the one that is not the skeleton form, it's just this in-between phase. It's not even the muscle phase like Itachi had. Itachi had a cool muscle phase for his Susanoo, but this intermediate form for Sasuke's Susanoo, I was never a fan of. It doesn't look very intimidating. I am not a fan of it. I am actually going to put it in bad, which may surprise some people. Okay, now we have Two Tails Kyuubi Chakra Cloak Part 2 Naruto, and I think this design looks good. It's not very relevant to the story, it's not very impactful because he bamfs the Nine Tails chakra for 2 seconds, Kakashi comes in and neutralizes it with that paper Jiraiya gave him, so it's not very long-lasting, doesn't leave a great impression the first time it shows up, but it's a cool form, I'm not gonna take away from it. Okay, Rasengan Part 1 Naruto is great. I mean, it's essentially the same design as these two here, but it doesn't have the Kyuubi Chakra. But the Rasengan looks extremely cool, so I'll have to put it in great. Okay, now we have, I think this is the same deal here. It's just two-tailed Naruto. Same thing. Okay, Three Tails Kyuubi Chakra Cloak Naruto. This is actually more exciting, I think, because when that happens in the story, it's like, oh man, this is gonna be very bad because Naruto is losing it against Orochimaru, and then he punches Orochimaru, and Orochimaru flies like a mile into the forest. It was pretty great, and Naruto looks way more intimidating with the three tails here than with just two tails. So I'll leave it in great. This is a great design. It looks very good. This four tails here, you know, it doesn't have as much chakra and impact as this Three Tails here. I think this is a filler scene, to be honest, which, you know, I'm not really a fan of, but it's a good design. Nothing against it. Behind this Naruto here, I would say. But anyway, Four Tails Naruto. Four Tails Naruto is great. I think version 2 Jinchurikis are very interesting, especially in the anime. I have to compliment the anime here because I think they are more interesting in the anime than in the manga, and that's not something you're gonna hear from me very often. I think the way the chakra moves and the color scheme they use in the anime to animate those characters, that computer designed elements to the animation, are very interesting to look at, and the manga doesn't actually give off this impression that the chakra is moving all around it. It's not bad in the manga by any means, but I think the anime actually enhances it, and when this Naruto appears, it's really cool and very scary because you're like, man, the main character is going ballistic, and I don't know if, you know, Yamato and Sakura can stop him, and it turns out they really can't. I mean, Orochimaru fights him and Yamato suppresses his power at the end, but if Orochimaru didn't soften him up, I don't think Yamato would have been able to seal the Kyuubi Chakra at all. And we have a repeat here, so yeah, it goes the same place. Okay, Curse Mark Sasuke. We have to talk about Curse Mark Sasuke, because I don't care what you say, the first time Sasuke bamfs his curse mark and that purple chakra is just like oozing out of his body, flaring like crazy. That's absolutely legendary, and I would say it's even greater than this scene here with Naruto against Haku, because it's just, you know, it's edgy. Sasuke's supposed to be edgy, but it's the type of edginess you're just like fan of. Sasuke absolutely stomps the sound ninjas, and just his curse mark design, the way that the curse mark spreads around his body, you know, the shapes of these black things here, they're just so great and very scary. Sasuke is intimidating as hell, man, and he really deserves this legendary position here. And I am going to say the same thing goes for this version 2 Six Tails Kyuubi Naruto, the one who fought Pain. I still prefer the curse mark. Of course, this Kyuubi is far more powerful, but we're not really talking about power here, are we? But anyway, this Kyuubi, it's so interesting to see it, especially when the bones grow. It's such an enhancement to the design of the just basic version 2 that it's an improvement that puts it into the legendary status. And, I mean, it's intimidating as well. The bones are so cool to look at. The power also increases, and the fight against Pain leaves this amazing impression, which I'm also counting here. The moment in the series these things happen is very important in my opinion. So I am going to leave this in Legendary just because I think it's amazing. Six Path Sage Mode Naruto. Okay, I like this design quite a lot actually. I don't think it's quite legendary. I think there were some things missing from it. I think a cloak here, a long cloak like KCM 2 would have been beneficial. The jacket's not bad, don't get me wrong. I still like the jacket, but I don't know. I guess, yeah, there's something missing here, and oh, it's not bad at all. I am still gonna put it in great. I think it's great in the top tier of great, but not legendary. You know, it doesn't really quite reach that status for me, but it's very good, don't get me wrong. Okay, this is the same deal with this Susanoo here, but this is the legless Susanoo, I believe, and it's the same thing. I think the legs look even worse. I think they look kind of goofy because they're really skinny. It's like that really tough guy that skips leg day every time, so it's kind of a weird thing to look at. I don't think it looks great. So the legless Susanoo looks a little better, and I like the crossbow, by the way. I like the crossbow idea. I think it would have been cooler if it was like a large longbow that's the size of the Susanoo. It would look more intimidating than this hand crossbow thing. It doesn't look good, but I don't dislike it. But still, the legless Susanoo goes a little bit above the Susanoo with legs, but still, I don't like it. I think it's bad. Okay. So we have to talk about black shirt, bandage Sasuke. You know Sasuke, when he showed up in the Chunin exams, he had all those bandages because when he used Chidori in the beginning, when he was just learning it and when he wasn't very good at it. No, he was pretty good at it, but he wasn't used to the Chidori. The Chidori cut his arms, and we can see that happening when he fought Itachi in that hotel room. Well, he didn't fight Itachi, he got stomped by him, but still, it was a very emotional scene. And this Sasuke's design is really good. I think the black shirt is cooler than the blue shirt. I think Sasuke should have kept that. Maybe the white shorts and the black shirt after the Chunin exams, but I think it's a legendary design. I just think Sasuke... Let's be real, Sasuke overall looks cooler than Naruto just because of the nature of the characters, so expect Sasuke to rank a little better than Naruto in some cases here. But this particular design is great. I think it's badass, and it's unapologetically so, which I kind of like. It's not like, well, I want to be edgy, but I want to be, you know, artsy and cool, so people don't say you're just edgy for the sake of it. Sometimes you have to be edgy, man. It's shonen anime. Things are not always, you know, artistic and all that. When things are cool in shonen, they tend to be good. If something doesn't make sense, but it's still good, like, say, Kakashi's Perfect Susanoo, people are not really going to care too much about it in shonen, and if it's good, if it's edgy, it's cool, and it makes sense, like this design here from Sasuke, then it's absolutely amazing, and that's why it goes in Legendary. Okay. The Kyuubi avatar, when it fuses, and it's like the Ashura Kyuubi avatar, right? From the Valley of the End, using the dual Rasen Shuriken, the massive Rasen Shuriken with all the Kyuubi Chakra and also Sage energy powered up to the limit. This is a legendary design. It's amazing. It's really good. And just the comparison with Ashura's avatar is also great. Even though I don't really like Naruto and Sasuke being reincarnations of them, I just think the parallels are good here, and it just looks great. You know, Kurama with 3 heads and like 6 arms, and I don't know how many tails, like 18 tails or something. It's amazing, and that scene was great. Okay, Sasuke's skeletal Susanoo. Well, this is a great design. When it first appeared in the 5 Kage Summit, you know, when Temari, Darui, Kankuro, and Gaara focused their attacks against Sasuke and it exploded, and then we get the revelation of Sasuke's corporeal Susanoo, which was the skeletal form at that point. It was very good. The Susanoo looks intimidating, it looks good. I like that it's purple. It fits Sasuke very, very well. Purple is, you know, the edgy color, essentially, and Sasuke is supposed to be the edgiest character, so yeah, let's embrace it, man. It just makes sense, and I like this form of the Susanoo much better than this intermediate form here that doesn't look very intimidating at all, in my opinion. Okay, here we have Sage Mode Kyuubi Naruto, but not the one when he was friends with Kurama. It's just a very brief moment when he synchronizes his powers with the 9 Tails in Sage Mode because he was angry and Kyuubi got angry as well in that moment. And I think it's a good design. It's very quick, so it doesn't really have much of an impact as well, but it's good. I'm not gonna say it's bad. And, well, now we have the majestic attire Susanoo, which is a pretty climactic scene. It's not a bad scene, though I am not the hugest fan of the Jubito versus Naruto and Sasuke fight. I don't think This scene should have been used in that particular fight. I think they kind of burned it too soon. This seemed to me, you know, the majestic attire Susanoo when Sasuke and Naruto combine their most powerful abilities should be this epic thing for the actual final fight. Not, you know, the Valley at the End fight when they're fighting each other, but, you know, the final fight in the war arc. And Jubito was far from being the final opponent. But the design looks good. It's not going to be legendary just because I think they misused it. But I am going to put it in great because it looks amazing. And now, well, we come to one of my personal favorites. Sage Mode Naruto, the one who fought Pain. This character here, I don't know why Naruto lost his red cloak, because that cloak, man, the red cloak with the black flames was just one of the coolest things ever. It's like a parallel to Minato's cloak, but it's different in the color scheme, and also it doesn't feel like a copy, and it just makes Naruto look very imposing and mature. Also, the orange lines around his sage eyes are very good. The design is amazing. It transpires the development of the character and how much more powerful he became, how he surpassed Jiraiya learning perfect Sage Mode. His arrival in the fight against Pain was one of the most jaw-dropping scenes in the entire series. You get goosebumps just by thinking about it. And of course, the fight against Pain is absolutely amazing. Sage Mode Naruto is one of the coolest characters in the series. It's kind of a shame that he didn't last very long, because soon after that he learned KCM1, and so he used Sage Mode much less. But when we got this Naruto here, great things happened, so I have nothing to complain about him at all. And now we have the majestic attire Susanoo from Boruto, and this is just a weaker version of the original majestic attire from Shippuden. It's not completed, you know, the Susanoo doesn't really cover the entire Kurama, and I guess they do that to show the yellow from the Kurama as well, and make like a contrast with the purple and the yellow. I just don't think it looks as good, and also the situation it happened, it's Boruto, so it's kind of bad by default anyway, but I'll throw it a bone and say it's not bad. Whatever. We have part 2 Naruto here, Shippuden Naruto, just the standard design, and I'll say, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'll say it's great. I have to be honest with you, orange is not one of my favorite colors. I am not a fan of orange, so that's something I never really was a huge fan in Naruto's design. Of course, now it's iconic. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, but I just think the Shippuden design is not as good as the part 1 design, but, you know, not bad at all. Okay, KCM1. Yeah, KCM1 is, it may be something a little bit controversial as well. I am not a huge fan of KCM1. I don't think it looks very good, especially in the anime, because I just think it's too bright, and the color scheme is way too flat. It's just like he's completely white with some orange lines around him. The fiery chakra around it is fine, I don't think that's bad, but I just don't think it looks very cool, man. It doesn't look as great as other Kyuubi forms, and in the Kyuubi Chakra Mode realm, you know, KCM1, KCM2 and all that, I think this is by far the lamest one. I'll say it's bad. I'll say not as bad as these two Susanoos here, but not a fan of KCM1. The design is not very cool in my opinion. You know, you can disagree with me. I guess, you know, the Magatama here around him, the black details are kind of cool, but this just doesn't really do it for me. I don't like the color scheme. It's too bright for me, in my opinion. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay. This right here, it's kind of hard to see, but it's actually Heavy Sasuke, the one who fought Deidara. And this Sasuke here ranks with my Sage Mode Naruto, to be honest. Heavy Sasuke. Go back and read the chapters in the manga from when Sasuke kills Orochimaru up until when Sasuke defeats Itachi. That's the Heavy Sasuke era in Shippuden. That Sasuke is the coolest character in the series. I'm not joking. He does everything, and it's so cool. Everything he does is the most amazing thing ever. His moves are cool. You can see Kishimoto is writing him to be the peak of edginess and coolness and all that. And it's not like he's one of those edgy characters that are like, oh yeah, I am a dark lone guy. No, he is actually a chill dude. He is a cool guy. You would want to, have a conversation with that Sasuke. That Sasuke was a friendly guy. He was cool. It wasn't the Sasuke we got in the second arc of Shippuden when Naruto actually meets him that he wants to kill everyone for whatever reason, breaking character completely. No, this Sasuke is cool, he wants to protect his team, he is friendly with his team. Sure, he's still a little bit cold, which is to be expected from Sasuke, but his design, the white thing he wears. It has this very large V-neck that exposes his chest, and I like also that ribbon that he uses around his waist, the Orochimaru-esque style ribbon. It's very cool. And everything that Sasuke does, all jutsus he has, the Sharingan, everything, when he uses Orochimaru's snakes as well, everything in this character is amazing. It's a legendary design. Oh, this is Valley of the End Sasuke, using Curse Mark Stage 1, and I am a sucker for the Curse Mark Stage 1. You know my opinions at this point, so yeah, it goes on Legendary. Okay, this is, I guess, I don't know, it's probably the same part 2, version 2 Kyuubi, so I'll just put it in here with the others. Oh man, this here is really damn nice. It's this partial transformation when Kurama is almost completely taking over Naruto, destroying the Chibaku Tensei, resisting it, breaking through it with the muscle all around its body, but the tails are still chakra, and it's one of the most frightening scenes because you look at this thing, it's like a demon staring back at you. It's legendary, and the moment it happens, everything, the battle itself against Pain is amazing, so it deserves the legendary spot. This is filler, it doesn't look good at all, it's bad. Okay, Hokage Naruto here with the version 2 cloak. Okay, yeah, looks absolutely bad, and it looks... Naruto got this awful downgrade to his character design because he lost what made him cool. He lost his hair, his face is a little weird, it's kind of round for some reason in Boruto. It's not well drawn, and when he uses the Kyuubi Chakra Mode, he looks even worse. He has all the same problems that KCM1 had, with the colors being flat and boring, but it's, the overall shape of the design, his face and everything is just worse. So he is trash. And, okay, this is just the majestic attire again, but, I guess this is the different form with all their friends with the tails, using that Rasengan from Naruto, but it's the same thing here. It's a great design. Just misused, I would say. Okay, now we have Boruto Sasuke, and Boruto Sasuke is worse than Naruto Sasuke. He is actually really, really bad. Not only because, the way he's drawn now, his face is weird, it's bad, it's not like it was in Naruto. Yeah, sure, it's not the same guy that draws it, but still, it looks bad. Just Google, Boruto Sasuke design. You're not gonna really get a lot of good images there. The worst thing they did to Sasuke in Boruto was to take out the spiked hair on the back of his head. This thing here, kid Sasuke had it. Sasuke's had that since he was a baby, essentially. The spiked hair on the back of his head. And it's just flat now, it's just like really straight hair, and that was one of the most recognizable features in the character design for Sasuke. You could just show me a part of Sasuke's hair anywhere, just a shadow of it, and I would recognize it as Sasuke, but now, no, not anymore. It's bad, it doesn't look good. Okay, the Kyuubi avatar from Boruto, not bad, it's just the same deal as in Naruto, but a little worse. EMS Sasuke. I have to say one thing. I don't really like Sasuke's gray clothing style, that very high collar shirt that's gray that he uses from, after he fights B up until the end of the series. I'm not a huge fan of that. I guess gray is not my favorite color, and I guess in the manga there isn't that issue because, characters are in black and white and all that. But I just think it's a downgrade. But the EMS itself, the design of the EMS is amazing. And I would say it's great. It's a great design. It's just not really my favorite. Okay, now we get the Sage of Six Paths. No chakra mode, so just the Sage of Six Paths eyes. And, this is, I guess, good. It's just like Naruto's design with a different eye, and he doesn't use that for very long, so not very impactful. Okay, this is KCM 1. I guess this KCM 1 here is after he's already mastered KCM 2, so it's like a KCM 1.5, but it's the same design, so yeah. Same deal here. I don't really like it. Okay, the last Sasuke, not bad. I don't really like the poncho, to be honest with you. I like the Rinnegan style, but we're gonna get to that later. I don't like the poncho, though. I don't like that at all. I don't like his design in the last very much. I think it doesn't really fit the character for what is shown in the series. I just think it's kind of a different style completely. But his face, at least, is a little bit better drawn. Not sure about this headband here. Not a fan of it either. But anyway. Okay, 5 Kage Summit Sasuke. Same deal here. I like the EMS. The MS. The EMS design, I think it's cooler. Though, I'd say they're pretty close. As I said before, I don't really like the gray clothing he uses here. But it's still a great design. It's not that I dislike the gray clothing. It's just that I prefer Heavy Sasuke's white clothing better. But anyway. Okay. The Kurama avatar, I will put it in great. I won't put it in legendary just because, I don't know, I don't think it looks that good. Once again, this yellow, very bright color, I'm not really a fan of it, to be honest. I kind of think the Kyuubi avatar should be red, like the version 2, versions of Naruto and all that. But it's this different color here. I think red would be better. It could have the same elements, Naruto being able to move around with the avatar and all that, and being very much more versatile than just transforming into the Kyuubi itself. But if it was red and had something of this strange red chakra in the version 2, I think it would be better, but I still like it. No problems with it whatsoever. Okay, Sage Mode, Hokage Naruto. Not bad. It doesn't look nearly as good as any Naruto from part 1 using Sage Mode, especially the one who fought Pain, because Naruto's hair doesn't look very good there, and I just not a huge fan of the character design. But I'll say not bad. Why not? Okay, this is Valley of the End Curse Mark Stage 2 Sasuke, and this character is absolutely legendary. Even above all of this, I would say. He is close to being at the top of legendary. This character here is absolutely amazing. Sasuke in Curse Mark 2 is one of the coolest characters ever. I still think Heavy Sasuke is cooler than him, but for what it's worth, that Sasuke was much more prominent in the entire series than just version 2 Curse Mark Sasuke. But yeah, their clash in the final valley is one of the most iconic scenes in anime and manga, so yeah, it has to be legendary. There's no other option. And the same thing goes for the version 1 Naruto in the Valley of the End with one tail. I don't think it's as legendary as Sasuke, just because I think Sasuke is inherently a little bit cooler than Naruto, but the purple Rasengan clashing as well, and also I didn't mention it, but the Onyx Chidori, the black and white Chidori Sasuke uses in version 2 Curse Mark, is also absolutely amazing. The same thing applies for this Naruto here. It's his most powerful stage in part 1, and it feels like it's a climactic scene, so it definitely deserves a legendary position. Okay, so this is a little bit of a weird one for me. This Susanoo here is the same stage as this one right here that I really don't like, that intermediate stage between the skeletal Susanoo and the armored Susanoo. But it has the curse mark, and you guys know how I love the curse mark stage 1, Sasuke's curse mark especially. His pattern of curse mark is by far the coolest in the series. So this is a bit of a conundrum here. I really like the curse mark, and I like the idea of a Susanoo curse mark, but I don't like this specific Susanoo stage from Sasuke. So I'll say, if this curse mark Susanoo was the armored Susanoo, this would be legendary. But as I don't like the Susanoo stage, but I really like the curse mark, I'll put it in good. Not on top of good, I'll put it on bottom of good, but it's a really middle of the way stage here, a middle of the way tier, and I think that's kind of it. It's something really great on top of something I don't really like, so I think it's a fair positioning here. Okay, it's essentially another Kurama avatar. I think this one looks better, at least in the anime, when the chakra is more solid. I just think it gives off this sense of more power to Naruto's avatar, but still, it should be red, in my opinion, my humble opinion, so I'll just leave it in here. Okay, I don't know what this aberration is. Is it from Boruto or something? It looks like a blob of chakra. Looks awful. Anyway, Sasuke's perfect Susanoo. Okay, this is a difficult one because I love the perfect Susanoo. When Madara whipped out his perfect Susanoo when we saw it for the first time, I thought it was one of the coolest things we've ever seen in the series. A lot of people will say, oh, this was too much of a power creep. And sure, it was a lot of power, but I like it, so sue me. But the thing is, all perfect Susanoos look exactly the same. It's just the color that's different. I wish they were a little bit different, just like the lesser Susanoos, the smaller Susanoos were. They all had their differences between Itachi, Sasuke, and Madara. I just don't know why Kakashi, Sasuke, and Madara had a, almost identical perfect Susanoo. Kakashi's perfect Susanoo was a little bit different, I think. He had like a scar, kind of nodding to the fact that Kakashi has a scar on his left eye as well. But Sasuke's Susanoo is the same as Madara's Susanoo. I just think that's a little bit lazy. I like the design. I just don't think it's as iconic as Madara's, because Madara uses it more often. At least, during the war arc. I don't know about Boruto, but I'll still say it's a great design. Could have been legendary if it was tweaked into something more unique, I would say. So it goes on the bottom of the great tier. Okay, Sasuke's armored Susanoo. And also, I love this design, but I have some criticism to make. Sasuke doesn't use this design very often. Actually, he barely ever does. I think he uses for 2 seconds when he was fighting Kakashi, and then he kind of goes blind and loses all his chakra, and that's when he awakens it and then just fizzles out. And then during the war arc, I think he uses a couple of times when he's fighting Zetsu. White Zetsus, he whips out his armored Susanoo for whatever reason and stomps the Zetsus, and I think he uses it against Kabuto a couple of times. Not really sure about that. I think he mostly uses his skeletal Susanoo in that fight, but I could be wrong. Maybe he uses the armored Susanoo a couple of times against Kabuto, but not nearly enough. So I do think it looks great. It just looks very similar to Itachi's, just like his perfect Susanoo looks similar to Madara's, which is, yeah, kind of annoying, but I'll say great. It could have been much better if it was a little bit different from Itachi's design, and if Sasuke actually used it more often. Like I said before, if Sasuke used this Susanoo version here with a curse mark, that would have been my ideal world. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay, now we get to something I really like. And, you know, I am okay. I like the Final Valley fight in Shippuden. I think it's good. It's not nearly as good as the Final Valley fight in Part 1, but the Indra Susanoo, when Sasuke drains the chakra from all tail beasts and uses his Susanoo as an armor to contain his chakra, and that face made out of chakra, you know, the contrast of colors as well, the blue bright chakra from the tail beasts and the darker purple from the Susanoo. This is one of the coolest scenes in the entire anime and manga. One of the coolest things ever done, I think, in shonen. And it's absolutely legendary. I don't think many people are going to disagree with me because this just looks absolutely amazing. And this is what I wanted to see with other versions of Sasuke Susanoo, which don't look bad, but I wanted them to be unique. I know this is a very specific circumstance when Sasuke had access to the Tail Beast Chakra and could use it, but, you know, creative things to differentiate his design from other Susanoos in the lesser stages would have been nice for my taste in Naruto in general. Okay, now we have Shippuden Sasuke, the one who fought Itachi in aCurse Mark II, and this Sasuke looks very nice. Not sure if I'll put him... Yeah, I'll leave Legendary because Curse Mark II Sasuke is amazing. One of the greatest sins Kishimoto committed was taking away the curse mark from Sasuke after he fought Itachi. Imagine if Sasuke had the curse mark when he had the EMS or the MS. Imagine MS/EMS Sasuke with the curse mark, stage 1 and then stage 2. Both stages would look amazing with the MS. And I just think that's a very shameful missed opportunity because it would have looked amazing. I don't care if you say, oh, it's thematic because Sasuke got rid of his curse because he hated Itachi and all that, but he was still consumed by hatred after that. He could easily justify it thematically for it to stay. And it was a nerf as well, power-wise, which I don't really like nerfing Sasuke out of nowhere. Sure, taking Orochimaru's powers away makes a lot of sense, but taking the curse mark? No. You shouldn't have taken the curse mark away from Sasuke. Okay, well, I guess this Sasuke here is just MS Sasuke. I'm not really sure which Sasuke that is. I'll just leave it in great. He seems to have the same hairstyle as the Sasuke. It could be EMS or MS, I'm not sure about it. Okay, is this Hokage Naruto with 6-path Sage Mode? I think so, by looking at it. Let's zoom in. Yeah. I don't think that's canon. I think that's a fan-made image, because I don't remember Naruto using this stage in Boruto, but it doesn't look good. I don't like Hokage Naruto's design, as I said before, and the 6-path Sage Mode is not going to help that. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one for last. Let's do Rinnegan Sasuke first. And I will put him with, very close to Sage of Six Paths, Sage Mode Naruto, the same who fought Jubidara and Kaguya. I still am not a fan of the gray clothing. The Rinnegan looks really cool, and I like this concept of seeing characters that have one eye of a different type, and then the one of another type, two different eyes is something that always caught my attention in any type of story. I just think Sasuke's other eye, you know, the Sharingan, his right eye, he should use his EMS more often. I don't think he ever used it in Shippuden alongside his Rinnegan, and I think that's a missed opportunity in my opinion, because let's be real, the EMS design is much cooler than the base Sharingan, even though the base Sharingan is amazing. But yeah, this Sasuke is great. Nothing really to complain about him, but I don't think he reaches the legendary status quite yet. And curse mark Sasuke, auto legendary. No need to elaborate. Okay, now I guess we didn't really have KCM 2 without Sage Mode, but these two, you know, just KCM 2 without Sage Mode and Sage Mode KCM 2 would be very close to each other, in my opinion. I think the Sage Mode is better design-wise. It looks cooler, and I think his whiskers change a little bit as well. But the KCM 2 looks much, much better than the KCM 1. First, because of the cloak he gets, and that's amazing. Also, in the anime, and that doesn't apply to the manga, but you get what I mean, it seems like his color scheme gets darker and definitely not as bright as KCM 1, which I can appreciate. So I'll give this Naruto here the great spot. I actually think this design looks better than Sage of Six Paths Naruto, but anyway, it could be either one, to be honest. And this right here is just like a Boruto Naruto just using Kurama's head to stop something, I guess. Very weird to just bend out the head. Not really a fan of that. Didn't like when he did it in Shippuden either. I think it's kind of weird. I don't know. Not a fan. I guess it's not trash. I'm just being too harsh. I'll say just bad. It's just bad. Okay, and now we go to Baryon Mode Hokage Naruto, which, of course, most people will say it's amazing, or I'm not really sure. Comment below before I rank this Baryon Mode. Please comment below what you think it should be, and then, well, see if we have the same opinion. But anyway, this design here, I understand what they're going for. I understand they're trying to convey that this form of Naruto is the peak of his power and nothing is going to beat that. I just don't think they convey that very well. His face looks okay, you know, it's not bad, but his face has the same problems as Hokage Naruto's face. It's weird, his hair doesn't look good, it's kind of round. The details from Kurama don't look bad though, but his cloak/tails look atrocious. They don't look as bad in the manga, but I don't know, man. They look terrible anyway. I kind of get what they're going for with the design. I just don't think they were able to convey what they wanted to do very well on the page. And I cannot disregard the story, because I am, you know, paying attention to the story as well whenever I'm ranking these, and I think I was very explicit whenever I ranked any of these forms, mentioning the story points that make them great or not so great. And well, the story that Baryon Mode is involved with is absolutely atrocious. Ishiki/Jigen is one of the worst characters in shonen history, and Boruto by itself is already really, really garbage. So, coupling that with a bad design, it absolutely goes on trash tier. But anyway, these are going to be the rankings of all Naruto and Sasuke forms regarding character design and how cool I think they look and how well I think they fit the narrative. Leave in the comments below if you disagree with me, which I'm positive all of you will disagree with me in at least one thing or two. But anyway, subscribe to this channel, and if you enjoy tier lists, also comment below. Like this video to help me out, to help boost me in the algorithm, and thanks for watching.